Honor of Kings World is Tencent's massive open world action RPG, and I went into this thing actually excited because Tencent has the money, Timmy has the talent, the trailers look fucking insane, and the original Honor of Kings IP is one of the biggest things in mobile gaming on the planet with 260 million monthly active users. If anyone has the resources to like dethrone Genshin, Wuthering Waves, and even NTE, or just make another big open world gacha game, I think it's this guys, you know? Well, the second alpha test just wrapped up, I managed to grab a key, and I kinda played for a while. So the question is this game worth playing? Is it worth the absolutely insane amount of hype this thing has been carrying? And the big one is the combat actually good? I'm gonna answer all three of them, and just so we're clear, this video is not sponsored, my channel has never been sponsored, and it will never be, so I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want. So let's get into it. First thing that hits you right off the bat is of course the visual. The visual fidelity is fucking insane. This game is made in Unreal Engine 5, and Unreal Engine 5 is doing what Unreal Engine 5 does. Lighting, draw distance, character models, environmental detail, it all looked legitimately AAA. There are moments where I would just stop running and look at a piece of the architecture because the level of detail on a single building was quite insane. And the grass, holy shit, the grass is looking good. The animated CGI cutscenes are compressed a little bit, which I noticed, but they still look better than basically every other gacha game on the market. Well, I mean, not the best, but it's actually pretty good. Voice acting in English is also super good. The lip sync is nice, the line deliveries don't feel rushed or lazy, and the pauses between dialogue feel very natural. There's no like, ha, who, like, or just random long ass pauses while your character is turning right or left or whatever it is, like in, you know, Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, even Wuthering Waves sometimes. And the facial animations during conversations actually being emote properly, that is so good. So cutscenes feel very immersive instead of being this stiff and lifeless. And after playing way too many gacha games where the voice works feels so low effort, this was genuinely a relief. Now, the combat, since that is one of the big questions this game has. This is where the game actually has its own identity, well, kind of. So in this game you can equip up to 2 flows, each one with their own moveset, and you can chain combos between them on the fly. On top of that, you can equip a summon, which functions the exact same way as Wuthering Waves ecosystem. So you slot in a creature and use it for an ability mid-combo. They can support you along the way, they can provide you buff, they can provide you damage, or they can provide you heal. The standout mechanic though is what they call this flow switching, which is basically character switching but with a twist. You can equip, like I said, you can equip up to 2 flows at a time, and each flow has completely unique kit. Some let you teleport, some have a parry mechanic, some are ranged with arrows and guns. And the combos you can build by chaining between 2 flows is actually pretty good. Moment to moment gameplay feels smoother than Wuthering Waves, I mean to me at least, which I think comes down to the animation work of this game. The transitions between attacks blend cleanly, the hit reactions on enemies feels quite responsive. When you press this, press that, when you wanna dodge, you can animation cancel too in this game. And so yeah, it is pretty good. And the absolute W of the entire game, the thing that made me actually sit up and pay attention, is there is no gacha for characters. None. You unlock flows by progressing through the story or grinding the battle pass. That's it. I mean buying the battle pass. After years of pulling for limited 5 stars, man, praying for all the good pulls. Finally, a gacha game, a big gacha game that has no gacha characters. And if they keep this structure at global launch, I mean that's a massive W. Now let's talk about the story a little bit. The story is fine, and the bar for actually fine in a gacha story is right on the floor, obviously, but they kinda do okay. Your character is not an amnesiac character, which I cannot emphasize enough. There's no waking up in the forest with no memories bullshit. You're just a student learning to master multiple combat styles and roles. That's basically the flow. And the journey is about exploration and growth. And the narrative respects that you are playing a competent person doing competent things. Is it Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy X story? No, it is not. But is it serviceable enough? Yeah, and that's all I needed in a gacha game, in a free-to-play game. And there's the open world itself, which is genuinely big and feels alive. You see other players running around, you can wave at them, you can group up if you want to, and it gives this whole small MMO energy that most gacha open worlds don't have. The areas are dense, lighting changes throughout the day, and PCs aren't just standing in one spot waiting for you to talk to them. There's actually life to it. Oh, and they actually have PvP in this game, which is something most bigger gacha games don't even bother with. Well, I didn't sink a huge amount of time into the PvP, so I cannot tell you if the PvP is balanced or not, or is it going to be, good in the long term. But the fact that it's even an option here means there is a content land for players who want to be competitive. So I think that is pretty good, and that's more variety than most of the competition is offering, so again, that is good. And I'll mention character skins specifically because the aesthetic isn't really my preference, which I'll get into it a second, but objectively, the skin in this game and the outfit work, oh my god, it is absolutely gorgeous. The drip is real. They clearly carried over the MOBA team's expertise in cosmetic design, and it shows. Okay, so that's all the stuff that works and super good. Now let's talk about where this game falls apart, and there's a lot. The open world formula in this game is the exact fucking formula every single open world gacha has released since 2020. You go to a region, you explore the map to find a dungeon, you clear the dungeon, you unlock fast travel, you find a viewpoint to reveal more of the map, you touch the teleport waypoint to teleport, and repeat this forever. This is Genshin, this is Woodring Waves, this is NTE, and now it's Honor of Kings World. Different coat of painting, same exact skeleton underneath. And it's not just the exploration that is copy and pasted. The dailies are the same shit, the weeklies are the same shit. Log in, do your daily commissions, spend your stamina on the gear dungeons, clear your weekly bosses, log out, wait 24 hours and do it all over again. I have done this exact same loop in Genshin, in Wuwa, in Star Rail, and now I'm doing it again in HoK World. At some point you have to ask why every single open world gacha treats your free time like an obligation you have to clock into. The daily system is just a leash to keep you logging in every day. It has nothing to do with the game being fun. And I want to be really clear here because I know some of you will read this as me hating open world games. No, I love open world games. I put 200 plus hours into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, 100 plus hours into Final Fantasy 15, 50 plus hours into Spider-Man, and yeah, I'm not the guy who cannot sit still in a big map. The issue is specifically that the gacha open world formula has gone completely stale because every studio is just photocopying the exact same checklist instead of trying anything new. By the 10-hour mark in Honor of Kings World, I had this weird feeling of PTSD, where I was clearing camps and unlocking viewpoints, and I genuinely could not tell you what was the different about this game versus the last 3 open world gacha I played. That's a real fucking problem, and it's not one Honor of Kings World can solve on its own because the whole genre is stuck in this loop. But they didn't try to break out of it either. They just polished the existing formula even harder. And after this many years of the same shit, is it really worth your time playing this game? Do you really want to play the exact same game over and over again? Okay, so after I finished recording this video, I actually found out that Honor of Kings World has been released in China. Yes, full release. And people are saying that nobody in the Chinese community are talking about this game. People are talking more about NTE and some other Chinese gacha game on their market. And people have been saying that the game is also boring and they bring nothing new to the table. only shinier graphics that's not even that good. Which is quite a shame actually, because I think this game deserves a chance and has potential, well, has some potential, if they don't copy and paste everything from Genshin Impact. I mean, this is just like my take on this game. Somehow it's kind of boring, alright, because they copy and pasted this game from Genshin Impact. They bring nothing new to the table, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But I do like the graphics. I think it looks kind of clean, but the performance is really bad. That's pretty much it.
This thing is stronger than I thought.
Next, and this one is quite annoying for me. So to progress your gear, you have to play this mode called Valor Quest. And Valor Quest is multiplayer dungeon only. Required multiplayer. As in, you cannot do it solo. You have to team up with friends or use matchmaking. And there are a lot of Valor quests. And this is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So if your friends aren't online, or if matchmaking is slow because not enough people queued at the same time as you are just stuck. The queue time in the alpha were genuinely long, whether that's because the alpha population is small or because of how Valor quests are designed, I don't know. But locking core gear progression behind mandatory matchmaking is kind of design decisions that loses players over time, I kid you not. Some people don't want to coordinate with strangers to get their gear upgrades. Some people play gacha games specifically because it's a solo activity that they can do in 20 minutes. Forcing matchmaking on those players is going to push them out. But of course you can get gears other ways, but it's going to be a lot slower. So I don't know about this. Hopefully they will change Valor Quest and you can do it single player. Now let's talk about the performance of this game. This one is also pretty rough, even though when I play this game it is stable, right? So I play this on 1080p. I know I only have a 1080p monitor, but even on 1080p the game takes way more resources than it should. And to play this thing at the highest settings, you genuinely need a high-end PC. I know Unreal Engine 5 is gorgeous, but it's also brutally expensive to run. And Honor of Kings World does not feel particularly optimized right now. This is alpha, optimization is the last thing studios polish, right? So I'm not going to judge them for it yet. But I think it's worth noting or flagging, because if it ships this heavy at launch, a lot of mid-range PC players are gonna just bounce off immediately. Also, combat, even with everything I said earlier about smoothness, how the gameplay is, it feels good to play. It still has a slight floatiness to it. Comparing it directly to Zenless Zone Zero, ZZZ has way more impact and grounding to its hits. You feel every connection in ZZZ, but in Honor of Kings World, you feel, well, most of them. But every now and then, a heavy attack lands and the feedback just isn't quite there. I think it's just a polish issue more than a design one, but it's noticeable when you have played other action gacha games that nail it, or any action games that kinda nail it. Sound effects in this game also has a bit of a rough thing, right? Specifically, I noticed a missing footstep sounds when running on the grass. I mean, I guess it's not missing, it's just very, very low. Which kind of breaks immersion really fast because your brain expects the audio feedback of it. Well, sound design overall is good, right? The impactful sound effects during combat is solid. The voice acting is really good. I'm not kidding, the voice acting was really, really good. But, because you are always running, right? You kind of notice that immediately. Look, I think it's just my complaint. Well, this is an alpha test, so maybe it's just a bug or something. Hopefully they will fix it at launch. Now, this is just my personal opinion or preference, so don't take this personally, alright? The whole aesthetic also leans heavily into this traditionally Chinese fantasy, which is fine, but it's also one of the main reasons I bounce off of Genshin, and I'm Chinese. I just prefer my gacha games or games in general to lean more modern or stylish rather than traditional ropes and ancient architecture. But again, this is just purely a personal preference. Your mileage is going to vary, but if you're someone who was hoping for a more modern or futuristic visual identity, this is not the game. But who knows, maybe after launch, in later chapters, in later patches like version 2.0, they will add a more futuristic or more like a cyberpunk-ish place or theme or location, whatever, right? But the Eastern fantasy meets futuristic pitch they sold in marketing is mostly Eastern fantasy with very little of futuristic part actually showing up in what I played. UI can feel cheap in some places too. Inconsistent fonts, menus don't quite feel like they belong to the same game. Again, this is an alpha test, so I'm not going to, scream about it, but it's worth saying it's not at launch quality yet. And there is this, the Tencent question mark, right? Monetization. Well, in the alpha test, monetization was kind of disabled. Well, not actually disabled, but they give you a lot of free stuff to gacha your outfit, which means I have absolutely zero read on how predatory this game is going to be at launch. Like the pity system, the pull rates, the battle pass design, the gem economy, all unknown as of right now. But the fact that there is no character gacha is fucking huge. But Tencent could very easily make up for that with expensive skins, $100 skins, time-gated progression, or premium currency walls on Valor Quest gear. I genuinely cannot tell you yet whether this game is going to be free-to-play friendly or whether it's going to be expensive as hell. Now, I want to be optimistic because the no character gacha decision is bold, but again, Tencent, right? But as far as I know, in Honor of Kings MOBA, they give you a lot of free stuff. I mean skins, a lot of, basically skins, right? Because it's MOBA. So hopefully they will do the same for Honor of Kings World. But the bottom line for me personally, I got bored at the 10-hour mark. I mean, the combat is fun, the visuals are stunning, the no gacha thing is awesome, but the loop gameplay underneath all of it is the same loop I've been running for years across half a dozen different gacha open worlds, and there wasn't enough new offers to keep me invested in this kind of game. It's just more shiny. That's it.
Flawless interlude. Flawless, flawless, flawless.
So let's get into the final verdict of this game. So where does this leave Honor of Kings World? If you genuinely love open world gacha games and you have not burned out on the formula yet, this game is going to be great for you. Super good. The visual alone are worth the install. The combat has real depth once you start chaining flows and weapons, and the no character gacha is so fucking good for free to play players. And the production value is some of the best in the entire game. Even this game is only in the alpha test. And I know you will have a good time with this game. But if you're already fatigued by Genshin, Wuthering Waves, NTE, and every other open world gacha clone, Honor of Kings World is not going to fix that for you. It is the same formula, but prettier, smoother, with a better progression model on the character side, but the same fucking formula at its core. The mandatory multiplayer for gear is going to actively annoy you, the grind loop is going to feel familiar within hours, and you will get bored at the same point I did. For me personally, I would rather spend my time on game with more substance to its world and story. I want to be clear though, this isn't me saying that the game is bad. It's not bad, it is so well made, it is polished where it counts, and it has one of the best monetization moves I've seen in the genre with the no character gacha thing. But I think it's just isn't doing enough that's new to pull me away from games that respect my time more, like Reverse 1999, Limbus Company, or just make this game my daily game, or for me to check this game once in a while. Because if this is the exact same thing as Genshin Impact, I would just drop this game or not even install it because I don't know, man. It's because I just don't like this Genshin Wuthering Waves open world formula loop. But once global launch hits, we will have to see the real monetization, the post-game content, and how the Valor Quest queue times look with a full player base. I'll do a proper relaunch review. For now, this is just my take on the alpha test. Some complain, some my personal preferences, So take this with a grain of salt. Maybe they will fix everything that I said, you know, who knows. But all in all, I did enjoy it, and this game has quite a lot of potential and a lot of question marks, obviously. So if you have played the alpha test too, let me know what your thoughts, you know. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it the same as I do? Do you enjoy the combat? I think the combat itself is pretty good, and I've not seen anyone not enjoying the combat in this game. So I think it's a good thing. Yeah. So that's it from me. Hopefully this video is helpful and useful for you to know what the game is like and an honest thoughts on this game. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.